Hey guys, Shimmer here, and today I'm going to give you my first impressions of High Isle and of course the new Tales of Tribute game. I was fortunate enough to be chosen to have early access along with other content creators and press, and I apologize for some reason I thought the embargo lifted today, so this will be a little late than the others. So we weren't able to take screenshots or video footage, and we're only allowed to use approved art assets for our content regarding the preview, so I'll show you those. And I'm going to show you a screenshot of the Bethesda live stream game board when I get to talking about Tales of Tribute. So High Isle itself is divided into two islands, one of which is a prison island where pretty much they send all of their criminals. When you first enter the main city, it's of course a port city filled with grand statues that are extremely big and beautiful. There were even ships sailing off into the distance. To me, I don't know if you guys played this, but it reminded me of the port city of Kalia from Vanguard Saga of Heroes. If you played that, it kind of had that feeling of this bustling port city filled with excitement and all those massive statues and constant coming and going of ships. Now, on to my impressions of Tales of Tribute. So this card game will be available to those that own High Isle, and the build we were playing on was super old and buggy, so the tutorial wasn't loading correctly. But I was able to get an understanding of the game, and it was super fun. I was surprised. So to begin Tales of Tribute, you're first going to have to find a poster located near the way shrine where you first port in, and it will tell you to head to the gaming hall to learn about this new card game. The tutorial they built into the game was great, but I did feel like I needed to hear some of the information again. They did this voiceover tutorial while you were inside the gaming board. But after the voice was done explaining a section, I really could have used a button or something or an option to replay the audio just so I could hear it again. Now, if you're anything like me, I need to get my hands on something in order to fully understand it. It will be on PTS on Monday, but for now I'll go into explaining a little bit about how the card game works. You can challenge NPCs and other players. When you challenge other players, you can do so competitively or casually. Casually challenging someone involves going right up to them and challenging them with the radial menu, or by using your friends list or guild list. Casual matches do not give any rewards. Competitive matches will rank you and place you on a leaderboard. These will give rewards to both the winner and the loser, but the winner gets the better of the rewards. The rewards that have been mentioned include pets, a house guest, transmute crystals, cosmetics, furnishings, and sellable items. You will also get leaderboard rewards should you be good enough to place. You get competitive matches by queuing via the activity finder and getting placed into matchmaking. When the tutorial is done, you will have all 4 starter decks. Now, there are some limitations to where you can play the game. You can't play it during PvP activities and in dungeons. The last thing you want is someone with their face in a card table while you're pulling a boss. When a game begins, someone is randomly selected as the first player. Both of you will get to choose which decks will be used for that game. The first player will pick the first deck, the second player will pick the next 2 decks, and the first player will then choose the last deck. Now, you can think of these decks like suits, spades, hearts for instance, diamonds. Each deck is a patron deck, and these patrons will appear on the board on the right-hand side and will have special abilities to either help or harm you depending on who the patron favors. One patron will be red and have a red deck, another will be yellow and have yellow cards. Once the players select the deck, the game begins. All decks chosen will be shuffled, and both players will play from them whether or not you have the deck or not. Each player gets shuffled 10 cards, and you will be dealt 5 of those cards. The cards in each deck will either generate coin when played, generate power, and some have special abilities like harming another player, giving you bonus gold or power, or removing cards completely from the game. Each player has 90 seconds per turn. Your first cards will be basic gold building and power building cards. You will be dealt 5 cards, which you can play each turn and are shown here. After playing your cards, you will see your gold for that round here. So if you had any cards that were building up gold, this is where you would see how much you got. And you will see your power here. You can use gold to purchase cards from the tavern cards here. When one is purchased, a new card from the tavern deck will be dealt back out into the tavern cards. You can purchase more powerful cards from the tavern, such as agent cards or contract cards. The cards you purchase will be placed into the cooldown pile here, so you won't be able to use them right away. At the end of your turn, all cards you played will also be placed into that same cooldown pile. When you run out of cards in your deck, your cooldown pile will then be shuffled and you will have them available then. Contract cards can come up in the tavern. These are one-time use cards that are available immediately. Once you buy them and they're used, they're gone forever. You can also use gold and power to turn the favor of a patron on the right side here. These begin as neutral, but when you play, you can flip them to your favor, and when you do that, have some abilities that either help you or harm your enemy. You can only interact with one patron per round. At the end of your round, any unused gold gets trashed, and any unused power gets converted into prestige, which you can see here. So you'll have to build gold each turn to use it. To win the game, you need to either flip all the patrons to your favor or be the first player to reach 40 prestige. As I said before, you can only activate one patron per turn, so your enemy can flip it back during their turn if they meet the conditions of the patron to do so. There are also cards with combos. These cards will require that you play cards from the same deck in order to activate. For instance, if a red deck has a combo of 1 or 2, to activate, you will need to play 1 or 2 red cards prior to activate that combo. You can also place agents on the board that will stay there on the board benefiting you each round until the other player takes care of them by destroying them. These agents have hit points, so they can be attacked and defeated by your opponent. It all seems super complicated at first, but you can be sure I will be posting a very in-depth tutorial when I'm able to record my own footage. But all in all, after I kind of got an idea of how to play it, I really enjoyed this game, and I think it's going to be super fun to have, the whole competitive side to it in the game. I feel like this will be an excellent addition to the game. Other new features like the dolmen-like events, the volcanic fissures, they were fun and different enough so that they didn't feel like the same old dolmen. Also, Mundus stones are added to the armory, so now you'll be able to save your builds and include your Mundus. The quick select wheel got some fine tuning as well. There are separate wheels for emotes, mementos, items, allies, and tools. From what I was able to play during my limited time in the preview, I found it to be immensely enjoyable, visually spectacular, and I'm super excited to go deeper into it on the test center next week. What are you most excited about for this chapter? And is there anything that you would like me to check out on the test center for you? Let me know in the comments below. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you in Tamriel. Bye.